to take a second and do a quick little exercise. If I could have everybody close their eyes for me, and when I say the word doctor, create a mental image. Whether it's your doctor, a movie doctor, TV show doctor, anything of that nature. I guarantee I can find one similarity that will relate most of, if not all of you, and that is that that doctor is male. Unfortunately, males are perceived to be doctors in the medical field and females as nurses, and this is just one major issue in the medical field. There are many. Tonight I'll be focusing on gender pay. So, gender pay gaps create an unfair and unstable work environment. And I believe an equal pay policy would not only empower the women in the medical field, it would protect healthcare workers and it would ensure better care for patients. Now, this is important because the medical field is a very demanding field, physically, mentally, all of the above. I guarantee males and females alike deal with difficult patients and they deal with very high stress situations. And the males benefit more, they make more money and they have more leniency with issues. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would I care? Why does this affect me? And this affects patient care, as female doctors can get very frustrated and kind of feel left out if they are receiving less pay than men. But not only that, those male doctors who may have advanced faster than they probably should have may not be giving you the best health care that you really deserve. And that's not fair at all to anyone. And now, this is an important issue in my heart. As a student who's going to medical school after I graduate, I can only express how many times I've been told, wouldn't it be so much easier to be a nurse? Isn't that too hard for women to do? Which, yes, but that's the entirety of why I'm going. Cardiac perfusion is not for the weak, and many may not know what that is, and that is okay. That is very okay. But tonight I'll be talking about the inequality in the medical field, the historical oppression that is tied to the medical field, and a pay policy, I believe, that will help distribute some of that gender disequality across the medical field. So, to talk about the problem, women in the medical field are looked at and treated differently. And Ariza Gabala and colleagues in 2014 wrote in Garcia Santeria, who are researchers that all focus on different aspects of the medical field, wrote that male physicians developed homogeneous progression through the 4 successive grades of PC. PC is professional career promotion with permanent positions, with almost half of those applying for any grade of promotion and achieving success, while significantly fewer women doctors attain the grade of consultants. So that's just saying that males who may not have had much experience or who have not had much really in the medical field have been able to promote themselves or gain promotions and move on to higher and bigger titles faster than females have. And most females have been passed over for males strictly because they are females. Hahn and colleagues, who are researchers from various universities that study medical education, wrote in the Medical Education Journal in 2018, in this regard, women physicians are likely to be stuck in follower roles, unless they refuse to conform to gendered values. Thus, the glass ceiling does not represent an obstacle to career development advancement, only at the final stage, but it is evidence of the accumulated effect of the discrimination women encounter throughout their career trajectories. So again, Hahn and colleagues are just talking there about how women may not face this just at the end of their career, it is throughout the entirety of their career. And it is very stressful for them, and they don't get advancements as they should, and they don't get promotions, or maybe even looked at or treated as equally as the males do. And this isn't just an issue of the now. This has been an issue for quite a while. In paramedicine, McFarland and colleagues, who are researchers that focus on nursing and paramedicine, in 2025 wrote that even within the expansion of education and training programs in the formation of the St. John Ambulance Australia, brigades explicitly communicated to their members that women were deemed unsuitable for the work. Not until the passing of the NSW Anti-Discrimination Act in 1977 were women finally allowed entry into the profession. Since this time, women in paramedicine have consistently reported gender-based discrimination and harassment, despite the profession achieving near gender parity. So, 1977 may seem like a long time ago, but in hindsight, it's not really that long ago. And in 1977, women in Australia were finally allowed to be paramedics. And that's not just an issue in Australia. This has been an issue throughout history, as we kind of have a patriarchy. Not kind of, we do have patriarchy, where men tend to lead all. And women in the medical field really got introduced as midwives and war nurses. And that was all they were really seen as, and advancement wasn't really known to be a thing until later on in time. Now, Newman and colleagues in 2023, who are researchers from various universities, all focusing on departments of health, wrote in Human Resources for Health, an example of a pattern of hierarchical gender inequality is evident in a sector where care is delivered by women but led by men. The difference expected from nurses, midwives, and other paramedical aides in the relation to physicians is transmitted through beliefs about differential value and power during the socialization of students in the gender regimes of health institutions. So what Newman and colleagues wrote is, this isn't just an issue of society of they learn it when they get to the medical field, they learn it when they start working. They are establishing that this is an issue that people are learning as they go through school, whether it's high school, college, or medical school, anything of that nature, or even doctoral school, is that women and men are not seen as equals. And unfortunately, this is something that's continued for a really long time, and that does affect everything. So my solution to this issue, really focusing on gender pay, is a pay policy that not only pays based off of gender, which it does now, or just increasing female pay, but creating a pay policy that no matter your title or experience, because experience is really relative in the eye of the beholder, that they get the same pay. So Hoff and Lee in 2021, who are all researchers that focus on healthcare management and the School of Pharmacy, wrote in Healthcare Management Review, women physicians would benefit from the implementation of more supportive policies aimed at better equalizing compensation through gender support and transparency, related to salary negotiations, promotional opportunities, and pay scales across various job titles. And these are all issues I've discussed with you tonight, as women are not held to the same standards as men. They are held higher. So they are not allowed to get as easy as promotions as men would typically. And salary negotiations comes into play with the pay gap, is they want the more money. They want to be as equal as their male counterparts, yet they're not receiving that. And to build on that, Lynn and colleagues in 2021, who are various university researchers that focus on the division of vascular surgery, wrote in the Journal of Vascular Surgery, pay structures determined using objective, gender-neutral criteria promoting greater transparency in compensation and addressing gender pay disparity will promote equality in medicine. And at the end of the day, that's what we really need, is equality in the field of medicine. And I believe that a pay scale or pay policy would be able to do that for us. So just to bring back everything we've talked about today, because it has been quite a lot, is there is inequality in the medical field. This is a historical event facing women, and a pay policy would be able to help them. And please do not close your eyes to this and dismiss it, as this is an issue that many are facing. And I know I asked you to close your eyes and think of a doctor, but please, when you think of your doctor, if it is a female, do not close your eyes and ignore this issue. Thank you.